I was 3 drinks in when I sent the text that would change my entire life. It was 2 in the morning on a Thursday, and my roommate Kennedy had just left with some guy from her economics class. I was alone in our apartment, wearing an old Howard University t-shirt and nothing else, feeling bold, stupid, and tired of waiting for Marcus to make a move. Marcus from my African American literature seminar. Marcus with the perfect smile and the way he always saved me a seat. Marcus, who had been flirting with me for 3 weeks but never asked for my number until yesterday. So I typed it out, deleted it, typed it again. The text was explicit, detailed, the kind of message you send when wine makes you brave and loneliness makes you reckless. I hit send before I could overthink it. Then I waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5. My phone buzzed. But the response wasn't what I expected. I think you have the wrong number. You should be more careful about who you send messages like that to. Delete my contact. My blood went cold. I looked at the number, looked again. Marcus's number ended in 7823. This number ended in 7893. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God. I'd sent the most explicit text of my life to a complete stranger. My fingers shook as I typed back. I am so sorry. That was meant for someone else. Please delete that. I'm mortified. The 3 dots appeared immediately. Already deleted. Be safe out there. That should have been the end of it, an embarrassing story I'd tell Kennedy over breakfast and then forget about. But something about his response stuck with me. The way he said be safe, not be careful, safe. Like he knew something about the world that I didn't. I should have blocked the number right then. I didn't. The next morning I woke up with a headache and a stomach full of shame. Kennedy was making coffee in the kitchen, humming some Megan Thee Stallion song. Girl, you look rough, she said, sliding a mug toward me. I did something stupid last night. How stupid we talking? Drunk text your ex stupid or post a thirst trap stupid. Worse, I tried to sext Marcus and sent it to the wrong number. Kennedy's eyes went wide. Then she started laughing. Full body, can't breathe, tears streaming laughing. It's not funny, I said, but I was starting to smile too because it was kind of funny in a horrifying way. What did the person say? He told me to be more careful and delete his contact information. He, how do you know it's a he? The response felt male. I don't know, just a vibe. Kennedy stirred her coffee, giving me that look. The one that meant she was about to say something I wouldn't like. You better hope Marcus never finds out. That man is sensitive. She was right, but Marcus wasn't who I was thinking about as I got ready for my morning class. I kept thinking about the stranger's response, the authority in it, the concern that felt almost protective from someone who didn't know me at all. Before I could stop myself, I pulled up his number. I really am sorry about last night. That was completely inappropriate, and I hope I didn't ruin your evening. I hit send before I could chicken out. Didn't expect a response. Got one anyway. Your evening was probably more ruined than mine. Apology accepted. Now delete this number. But his tone was different this time, almost amused. I will, after I ask one question. Were you at least a little flattered? The 3 dots appeared and disappeared 3 times before his response came. I'm old enough to be your father. There's nothing flattering about it. There's the door. Use it. Old enough to be my father. That meant at least, maybe 50s. I should have been disgusted, should have blocked him right there. Instead, I felt a pull in my stomach that had nothing to do with the hangover. For the record, I like older men. I sent it before my brain could override my fingers. No response. An hour passed, then 2. I went to class, trying to focus on the lecture about post-colonial theory, but my phone felt like it was burning a hole in my pocket. When it finally buzzed during the break, I nearly dropped it. This conversation ends now. You're young and you're obviously smart enough to be in graduate school. Don't waste your time texting strangers who could be anyone. Dangerous, married, disturbed. You don't know. I'm blocking this number. Have a good life, Sienna. Wait. I never told him my name. My heart started racing. I ran to the bathroom and called the number. It rang once, twice. How do you know my name? His voice was deep, controlled, with the faintest accent. Maybe Korean, maybe. Your university email is in your text signature. Sienna Mitchell, graduate student, Howard University. It takes 2 seconds to search. You searched me. I wanted to make sure you were real and not some kind of scam. Satisfied. Goodbye, Sienna. Wait, don't hang up. Silence. Please. Why? His voice was tired now, resigned. Because I can't stop thinking about you, and I don't even know what you look like. The line went dead. But he didn't block me. I checked. The number was still active. And that meant something. If you're loving this story so far, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this is about to get so much messier. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. I didn't text him again that day, or the next day. But on Saturday morning, I broke. You didn't block me. 3 hours later, I should have. But you didn't. Clearly, I make bad decisions. I smiled at my phone like an idiot. Over the next week, we fell into a pattern. I'd text him throughout the day. He'd respond sporadically, like he was fighting himself each time. His messages were short, careful, maintaining distance. But he never stopped responding. I learned small things. He was a lawyer. He lived in D.C. He liked his coffee black and his whiskey neat. He thought reality TV was rotting American brains but admitted to watching cooking shows. He never asked about the original text, never mentioned it at all. It was almost respectful in a way that made me want him more. What kind of law do you practice? I asked one night. Long pause. The kind that keeps people out of prison, sometimes the kind that keeps people alive. That's ominous. That's accurate. Are you dangerous? Another long pause. Yes, which is why this needs to stop. But he kept texting. On Tuesday, I had my first class with the new visiting professor, Dr. David Kang, brought in from Georgetown to teach advanced criminal justice theory. He walked in wearing an expensive suit and an expression that suggested he'd rather be anywhere else. Korean, maybe early 40s, with sharp features and cold eyes that scanned the room like he was cataloging threats. I don't do introductions, he said, his voice clipped. I don't do participation points. You're graduate students. Act like it. Read the syllabus. First paper due in 2 weeks. He launched into the lecture without another word. Something about him made me uneasy. The way he moved was too controlled, too aware, like my mystery texter sounded. Careful, dangerous. After class, I texted, "Do you know Professor Kang?" The response came fast, too fast. Why are you asking me that? He's my new professor. Something about him reminded me of you. No response for 6 hours. Then, stay away from him. My stomach dropped. Why do you know him? Sienna, stay away from him, I mean it. You're scaring me. Good, be scared, be smart. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about the professor's cold eyes and the stranger's warning and the way both of them moved through the world like they knew things other people didn't. The next day in class, Professor Kang called on me. "Miss Mitchell, your thoughts on the Morrison case?" I stammered through an answer. His eyes never left my face, studying me in a way that made my skin crawl. After class, he asked me to stay. "You seem distracted," he said, leaning against his desk. "Everything all right?" "Fine, just adjusting to the semester." "You're interested in criminal defense?" "Yes, sir." My father was a defense attorney, very successful, very connected. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Perhaps I could arrange a meeting if you're serious about the field." "That's very kind, but I'm okay for now." "Of course," he straightened. "One more thing. Be careful who you associate with outside of class. D.C. can be a dangerous city for young women who don't know the right people." It sounded like a threat. I practically ran from the classroom. That night, I called the number instead of texting. He answered on the first ring. Sienna. Just my name, but it sounded like a prayer and a curse at the same time. He knows me, the professor. He was asking about me today, and it felt wrong, and I don't understand what's happening. Where are you right now? My apartment. Lock your door. Don't go anywhere alone. I'll explain, but not over the phone. Then how? Silence. Give me your address. You said this had to stop. It should, but if David is watching you, then we're past that point. Address, now. I gave it to him. 30 minutes. He hung up. I paced my apartment for 29 minutes. Kennedy was at her boyfriend's place. I was alone, heart hammering, wondering what the hell I'd gotten myself into. When the knock came, I checked the peephole. The man standing in my hallway was not what I expected. He was tall, probably 6'2", with silver threaded through black hair cut sharp and professional. Expensive suit, expensive watch, expensive everything. Mid-40s, Korean, devastatingly handsome in a way that seemed almost dangerous. His face could have been carved from stone. I opened the door. We stared at each other. You're younger than I thought, he said finally. You're hotter than I imagined. His jaw tightened. Can I come in? I stepped aside. He moved into my apartment like he was sweeping for threats, taking in every detail. When his eyes landed on me again, something flickered in them before he locked it down. Sit down, Sienna. We need to talk. About Professor Kang. About everything. He sat on my couch, keeping distance between us. I sat in the chair across from him, tucking my legs under me. My name is Hayan Wu Park. I'm 45 years old. I've been a criminal defense attorney for 20 years. Before that, I did things I'm not proud of for people you don't want to know. What kind of things? His eyes met mine, the kind that keeps me awake at night. I should have been terrified, should have kicked him out. Instead, I leaned forward. Keep going. David Kang is my former partner's son. His father and I worked together in what you might call organized crime, Korean Mafia if you want to be blunt about it. I left that life 15 years ago when I realized I didn't want to die before 40. David thinks I betrayed his father. Did you? I testified against him. He's serving 25 years. The room felt too small suddenly. And now David is my professor. Now David is watching you because somehow he found out we've been talking. Which means someone has been monitoring my phone or yours or both. That's insane. That's my world. He stood up, moving toward the window. This is exactly why I tried to keep my distance. This is why I should have blocked you the first night. You texted me by accident and now you're caught in something that could get you killed. You're being dramatic. He turned to face me, and the look in his eyes made my breath catch. 3 years ago, a woman I was seeing casually found out about my past. Someone sent her pictures, details. She tried to blackmail the wrong people. They found her in the Potomac 2 weeks later. The apartment was too quiet. David won't hurt you, Hayan Wu continued. He's too smart for that, but he'll use you to get to me. He'll manipulate you, gaslight you, make you doubt everything. And if that doesn't work, he has friends who will do worse. So what do I do? Transfer out of his class, block my number, pretend this never happened. And if I don't want to? He moved closer, close enough that I could smell his cologne, see the scar along his jaw. Then you're even more reckless than I thought. Maybe I am. We were inches apart now. The air felt electric. I'm too old for you, he whispered. I don't care. I've killed people. I don't care. You should. I know. He reached up like he was going to touch my face, then stopped himself. This is wrong. I know that too. His phone buzzed. He looked at it and his expression changed. I have to go. Don't contact me again unless it's an emergency. I'll have someone watch your building. Someone watch me, like a bodyguard. Like insurance. He headed for the door, then paused. Sienna, I'm not a good man. I'm trying to protect you from that. Let me. Then he was gone. I stood in my empty apartment, heart racing, body aching, knowing I was in over my head. Knowing I didn't care. I lasted 4 days before I texted him again. I can't stop thinking about you. His response came immediately, like he'd been waiting. I know, me neither. This is a mistake. Then, let's make it together. The 3 dots appeared and disappeared a dozen times. Finally, my office tomorrow, 7 p.m., come alone. I barely slept. The next day I crawled by. Professor Kang watched me throughout class with a small smile that made my skin crawl. During the break, he approached my desk. Miss Mitchell, how are you finding the coursework? Challenging, in a good way. Excellent, you remind me of someone, can't quite place it. His head tilted. Are you seeing anyone, romantically, I mean? Every alarm bell in my head went off. That's a personal question, Professor. Of course, forgive me. Professional interest only. I like to understand my students' stress levels. Relationships can be very distracting from academic work. I'm single and focused on my degree. Good girl. The way he said it made me want to shower. At 6:30, I took an Uber to the address Hayan Wu had sent. A high-rise in downtown D.C., all glass, steel, and money. The law firm name on the directory made me pause. Park and Associates, his name on the door. The elevator took forever. My reflection stared back at me, a 22-year-old grad student in a sundress about to meet a 45-year-old ex-hitman who made her feel things she didn't have names for. The office was empty, except for one light in the back. I followed it. Hayan Wu sat behind a massive desk, jacket off, sleeves rolled up. He looked exhausted. When he saw me, something in his expression broke. You shouldn't have come. You invited me. I know, I'm weak. He stood up, moving around the desk. Every instinct I have says to send you home, to protect you from me and everything I touch. But I'm a selfish man, Sienna, and I want you in ways I have no right to. I crossed the space between us. Then take what you want. You don't know what you're asking. Yes, I do. I kissed him. For a second he froze. Then he came alive, hands in my hair, mouth desperate against mine, backing me against the desk. He kissed like a man who'd been starving, all control abandoned. Then he shoved me away. No, this is wrong. He was breathing hard, hands shaking. You're 22. You're my enemy's student. You're everything I should stay away from. I don't care about should. I care about this, us. There is no us. There can't be. Then why am I here? He looked at me with such hunger it hurt. Because I'm damned either way. He kissed me again, slower this time but no less intense. His hands traced my sides, my back, gentle and possessive at once. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. If we do this, there are rules. No one can know, not your friends, not your classmates, especially not David. If he finds out, he'll use it to destroy both of us. I can keep a secret. This isn't a game, Sienna. People in my world don't break hearts, they break bones. Then teach me, show me how to survive in it. Something shifted in his eyes. A decision was made. Okay, but we do this my way, carefully, slowly. I don't want to be slow. Too bad. He kissed my forehead, my cheek, my jaw, deliberately avoiding my mouth. Go home, think about this. If you still want this mess tomorrow, text me. And if I text you right now? A slight smile, the first real one I'd seen. Then I'd say you're incapable of following instructions. You should know that about me. I'm starting to. I left his office feeling like I'd made a deal with the devil. But the devil had a beautiful smile and hands that shook when he touched me, and I couldn't bring myself to care about the consequences. I texted him from Uber. I want this mess. His response came before I made it home. Then welcome to hell. The affair started on a Wednesday. Hayan Wu picked me up 3 blocks from campus in a black, expensive Mercedes. He was wearing jeans and a t-shirt, looking younger and somehow more dangerous without the suit. "Where are we going?" I asked, sliding into the passenger seat. "Somewhere David won't see us." We drove to a hotel in Virginia, the kind with private entrances and no questions asked. He'd already checked in, already planned every detail. The room was beautiful. King bed, city view, champagne on ice. "This feels very Pretty Woman," I said. "Never seen it." "Seriously. I don't watch movies where prostitutes fall in love with billionaires. Too unrealistic. But Mafia lawyers falling for grad students is totally believable." He pulled me close. "Nothing about this is believable." We made it about 5 minutes before we stopped talking. Being with Hayan Wu was nothing like the boys I'd dated before. He was patient, demanding, completely focused on me in a way that was almost overwhelming. His hands knew exactly where to touch. His mouth knew exactly what to say. "You're thinking too much," he whispered against my neck. "Stop thinking." "Can't help it. Comes with a graduate degree." "Then let me give you something else to focus on." He did. Afterward, we lay tangled in expensive sheets, my head on his chest, his fingers tracing patterns on my back. "Tell me something true," I said. "About what?" "About you, something you've never told anyone." He was quiet for a long time. "I was 17 the first time I killed someone. He owed money to the wrong people and they sent me to collect. I didn't want to do it, but I was young and stupid and trying to prove myself. I remember his wife screaming. I remember driving home with blood on my hands and thinking, this is who you are now. You can't go back." My chest tightened. "Hayan Wu. You asked for the truth." "I did. I'm not running." "Maybe you should." I propped myself up to look at him. "Do you still do that? Hurt people for money?" "No, not for 15 years. I defend them now instead. Try to give them chances I never got." His eyes met mine. "Does that make it better?" "I don't know. Does it make it better for you?" "No." I kissed him softly. "Then maybe you need to forgive yourself." "You're very naive. You're very broken." "I know." We stayed in that hotel room for hours, talking, touching, and learning from each other. He told me about growing up in Seoul, coming to America at 15, getting recruited into organized crime before he was old enough to vote. I told him about my mother who worked 2 jobs to put me through college, about wanting to be a lawyer since I was 10, about feeling like I never quite fit anywhere. "You fit here," he said, pulling me close. "In a hotel room. With me." It was the most romantic thing anyone had ever said to me. Around midnight, his phone buzzed. He checked it and swore in Korean. "What's wrong?" David posted on the university faculty page. Something about a student-professor mixer next week. He's making sure I know he's close to you. "That's crazy." "That's calculated." He sat up, running his hands through his hair. "He's escalating, testing to see if I'll react." "What do you want to do?" "Keep you locked in this room forever." "Not practical." "I know." He turned to look at me. "You need to act normal around him. Don't give him anything to latch onto. If he asks about your personal life, lie. If he invites you anywhere, have an excuse ready." "You're talking like he's stalking me." "He is, in his own way." Hayan Wu pulled me onto his lap. "Promise me you'll be careful." "I promise." "Sienna, I mean it. David is patient and smart and he will wait for you to make a mistake. Don't give him one." "Okay, I'll be careful, I promise." We went back to the city at 2 a.m. He dropped me off 3 blocks from my apartment, watching until I was safely inside. Kennedy was up, eating cereal in her pajamas. "Where have you been? You look thoroughly pleased with yourself." "Library." "Libraries don't give you that kind of smile." "This one did." She threw a pillow at me. "You're seeing someone. Spill." "Nothing to spill, just focusing on school." "You're a terrible liar." "And you're too nosy." "It's not Marcus, is it? Because girl, he's been asking about you." My stomach dropped. What did you tell him? That you've been busy. Why? Should I tell him something else? No, Marcus is great, but I'm not interested. Since when? Since a wrong number text changed everything. Since now, I need to focus on my thesis anyway. Kennedy gave me a long look. Whoever he is, be careful. You've got that look. What look? Like you're falling, and you don't care where you land. She wasn't wrong. Over the next 3 weeks, Hayan Wu and I fell into a routine. Hotel rooms on weeknights, his apartment on weekends when he was sure no one was watching. Stolen hours between his court cases and my classes. We were careful, different hotels every time, no pictures, no paper trail. But being careful wasn't enough. Professor Kang started asking more questions about my research interests, my career goals, whether I'd thought about his offer to meet his father. He's in prison, I pointed out during office hours. Exactly. Think of the interview opportunities, first-hand accounts of organized crime defense strategies. I'll think about it. You do that, Miss Mitchell. The way he said my name made my skin crawl. I told Hayan Wu about it that night. We were in his apartment, a sleek penthouse overlooking the Potomac. He'd made dinner, some Korean dish I couldn't pronounce but tasted incredible. He's pushing, Hayan Wu said, pouring more wine. Trying to get you close to his father so they can use you as leverage against me. How would meeting his father do that? Because the second you walk into that prison, they'll have proof we're connected. They'll have pictures, records. David probably already suspects, but he needs confirmation. So I just refuse. You refuse politely. Blame your thesis timeline, make excuses. He'll eventually give up. And if he doesn't? Hayan Wu set down his glass. Then we have a bigger problem. Define bigger. The kind that requires me to call in favors I've been avoiding for 15 years. From who? People you don't want to meet. I moved to sit in his lap, forcing him to look at me. I'm not scared of your past. You should be. Maybe, but I'm more scared of losing you. His arms wrapped around me, tight and possessive. You're not going to lose me. I've survived worse than David Kang. Have you? He kissed me instead of answering. The next week, everything changed. I was leaving the library after a late study session when a black SUV pulled up beside me. The window rolled down. A woman sat in the back seat, Korean, maybe 40, beautiful in a cold, sharp way. Sienna Mitchell. Who's asking? Someone who knows Hayan Wu very well. Get in. We need to talk. I don't get into strange cars. Not strange, I'm Juwan Park, Hayan Wu's ex-wife. The world tilted. He didn't mention you. I'm sure he didn't. Get in anyway, unless you want this conversation happening on the street where anyone can record it. Against every instinct, I got in. The SUV started moving immediately. Juwan studied me with eyes that missed nothing. You're younger than I expected, prettier too. I can see why he's risking everything. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't insult my intelligence. You've been sleeping with my ex-husband for a month, meeting in hotels, sneaking around like teenagers. Very romantic, very stupid. My heart was pounding. If you know about us, does David? Not yet, but he will. I'm going to tell him. Why would you do that? She leaned back, perfectly composed. Because Hayan Wu destroyed my life when he testified against my brother. Yes, David's father is my brother. Small world, isn't it? Hayan Wu sent him to prison to save his own skin, broke up our marriage, ruined everything. Her smile was ice. Now I get to return the favor. You're insane. I'm practical. You're a complication he doesn't need. I give you 2 choices. End it now and transfer schools, or I tell David and let him handle it his way. And trust me, David's way is much less pleasant than mine. I'm not leaving Hayan Wu. How noble, how naive. She leaned forward. Let me explain something about the man you're falling in love with. Hayan Wu doesn't do relationships. He does obsessions. Brief, intense, destructive. Then he walks away. He did it to me. He'll do it to you. You don't know him anymore. I know him better than anyone. I know he calls out his dead mother's name when he has nightmares. I know he drinks alone on the anniversary of his first kill. I know he'll throw you away the second you become inconvenient. She smiled. And a grad student who's putting him at odds with the Kang family? Very inconvenient. Get me out of this car. Gladly. 1 week, Sienna. End it in 1 week or David finds out everything. The SUV stopped. We were 3 blocks from my apartment. I got out without another word. Didn't look back. Didn't let her see my hands shaking. I called Hayan Wu the second I got inside. I just met your ex-wife. Silence. What did she say? I told him everything. When I finished, he was quiet for so long I thought he'd hung up. Hayan Wu. I'm coming over. Don't leave your apartment. She gave me a week to end things, or she tells David. I know, I heard you. His voice was tight. I'll be there in 20 minutes, lock the door. He made it in 15. When I opened the door, he looked like he'd aged 10 years. He pulled me inside, checked every room, closed every curtain. Then he kissed me like he was drowning. I'm sorry, he whispered against my mouth. I'm so sorry. I should have warned you about Juwan. Should have known she'd get involved. Is it true, what she said about you? Which part? All of it. He pulled back, his hands framing my face. Some of it. I did testify against her brother. He was going down whether I talked or not. I just made sure I didn't go down with him. And yes, it destroyed our marriage. She's never forgiven me. His thumb traced my cheek. But the part about throwing you away, that's a lie. You're not a complication I'm planning to discard. You're the first good thing I've had in 15 years. She said you have obsessions, not relationships. Maybe I did, past tense. This feels different. How different? Different enough that I'm considering things I swore I'd never do again. Like what? His eyes darkened. Like going to war for you. This story is getting intense. If you want to see how Sienna and Hayan Wu handle what's coming next, hit that like button and drop a comment. Your girl is reading every single one. Now back to the drama. War, I repeated. Hayan Wu, that's insane. It's the only language David understands. He moved to my window, looking out at the street. Juwan won't wait a week. She's already told him. He knows by now. How can you be sure? Because if I were him, I'd already have someone watching this building. I joined him at the window. The street looked normal, cars parked. A few people are walking dogs, nothing suspicious. Then I saw it. A black sedan across the street, engine running, someone in the driver's seat. Is that? Yes. How long has he been there? Since before I arrived. He followed me here. My stomach dropped. We need to call the police. And tell them what? That a car is legally parked on a public street. Hayan Wu turned to me. This is David's opening move. He wants me to know he's watching. Wants me to panic and do something stupid. What are we going to do? Nothing tonight. You're going to pack a bag, enough for a few days. I'm not running. You're not running, you're being smart. He pulled out his phone, made a call. It's me, I need the safe house prepared. 2 hours. He hung up. There's a place in Maryland, secure off the grid. You'll stay there until I handle this. And what are you going to do? Have a conversation with David. Remind him of the rules. What rules? The ones about not involving civilians in family business. I think we're past that point. Not yet, we're not, but we will be if you don't let me protect you. I wanted to argue, to insist I could handle myself. But the look in his eyes stopped me. This was his world, not mine, and in his world pride got you killed. Okay, I'll go, but Hayan Wu, you come back to me. Whatever you have to do, you come back. He kissed me softly, always. We left through the back entrance, him checking every corner before letting me move. His car was parked in the alley, engine already running. The safe house was an hour outside the city, a small cottage surrounded by woods. No neighbors, no witnesses. Inside it was comfortable, fully stocked kitchen, decent Wi-Fi, books on the shelves. How long do I have to stay here? A few days, maybe a week. He set my bag down. There's a gun in the bedroom closet, top shelf, you know how to shoot. My dad taught me. Good. Don't hesitate to use it if someone comes who isn't me. This is really happening. This is really happening. He held me for a long time, neither of us speaking. Finally, he pulled back. I have to go. David will expect me to show up tonight. The longer I wait, the worse this gets. Be careful. Careful is my specialty. He kissed me one more time and left. The cottage felt too quiet after he was gone. I tried to read, couldn't focus. I tried to sleep, couldn't relax. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello, Sienna. David's voice was smooth, almost pleasant. Hayan Wu's got you tucked away somewhere safe, I'm guessing. Very predictable of him. How did you get this number? I'm a professor. You'd be amazed what's in university databases. Student contact information, emergency contacts, everything I need to find anyone I want. My blood went cold. What do you want? To talk, that's all. Just a friendly conversation between a professor and his student. There's nothing friendly about this. No, I think we could be friends, Sienna. I think you and I want the same thing. Which is? To understand why my father is in prison while Hayan Wu walks free. Why does the man who pulled the trigger a dozen times get to play lawyer in a nice suit while my father rots in a cell? He testified against your father to save his own life. That's survival. That's betrayal. His voice hardened. And you're helping him, giving him something to care about, making him weak. I'm not helping anyone. I'm just trying to live my life. Your life intersected with mine the second you started sleeping with Hayan Wu. Now you're involved whether you like it or not. Then uninvolve me. I'll end it. I'll transfer schools, whatever you want. Too late for that. You're already invested. I can hear it in your voice. He paused. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to do exactly what I tell you, when I tell you, or people you care about start getting hurt. I'm recording this call. He laughed. No, you're not, but it wouldn't matter if you were. Threatening a university professor's student, I'd lose my job. Threatening a girl involved with a known criminal with Mafia ties, that's just concerned citizenship. The line went dead. I sat there shaking, phone clutched in my hand. Then I called Hayan Wu. David just called me. What did he say? I told him everything. When I finished, Hayan Wu was silent for a long time. Change of plans. Stay at the safe house. Don't answer calls from numbers you don't know. I'll have someone there within the hour to watch the property. Who? A friend, someone I trust. Hayan Wu, David threatened people I care about. My mom, Kennedy, everyone. I know, I'm handling it. How? By reminding David that threats work both ways. He hung up before I could respond. The next 3 days were the longest of my life. I stayed in the safe house, watching the woods, jumping at every sound. The friend Hayan Wu sent was a Korean woman in her 30s named Soo-jin. Former military, barely spoke, carried 2 guns. She didn't tell me anything about what was happening in the city. Just stood guard and made sure I stayed alive. On the 4th day, Hayan Wu finally showed up. He looked exhausted, bruised knuckles, cut along his jaw. What happened? Conversation with David went about as well as expected. He sat heavily on the couch, but we reached an understanding. What kind of understanding? The kind where he backs off or everyone loses. I reminded him that I still have friends in the organization. Friends who owe me favors. Friends who wouldn't be happy to hear David's been harassing civilians. And he believed you. He's smart enough to know I'm not bluffing. So it's over. Hayan Wu looked at me with exhausted eyes. No, it's just beginning. David agreed to a temporary ceasefire, but he's not giving up. He's just changing tactics. What does that mean? It means we need to be smarter, more careful. He pulled me into his arms. It means this got a lot more complicated. I'm starting to think complicated is our specialty. Yeah, me too. We stayed at the safe house for another week. Hayan Wu took time off from his firm, claiming personal leave. We hid in the woods like criminals, sneaking moments of normalcy between the fear. But we couldn't hide forever. Eventually, we had to go back. Back to the city, back to my classes and his cases. Back to pretending everything was normal, while David watched and waited. The first day back at school, I walked into class to find David sitting on my desk. Miss Mitchell, welcome back, we missed you. I had a family emergency. Of course you did. Everything resolved, I hope. Yes, sir. Wonderful. He stood, moving uncomfortably close. You know, I've been thinking about you, about your thesis topic. I'd like to serve as your advisor if you'll have me. Every instinct screamed to refuse. But Hayan Wu's voice echoed in my head. Be smart. Don't provoke him. I'll consider it. Thank you for the offer. Excellent. We'll start meeting weekly. Get to know each other better. He walked away smiling. I texted Hayan Wu immediately. David just offered to be my thesis advisor. Accept it. Are you insane? Trust me, if he's your advisor, he has to follow university protocols. Can't meet with you alone, has to document every interaction. It actually protects you. This feels like a trap. It is a trap, but it's one where he can't make a move without witnesses. So I accepted. For the next month, I met with David twice a week in his office, always with the door open, always professional. He asked about my research, my theories, my plans after graduation. Never mentioned Hayan Wu directly. But the implication was always there, hanging between us like a blade. Meanwhile, Hayan Wu and I continued our careful dance. Different hotels, burner phones, nothing traceable. But the constant vigilance was exhausting. One night, tangled in sheets in yet another anonymous room, I broke. I can't do this anymore. Hayan Wu went still. What are you saying? I'm saying this isn't a relationship. It's a hostage situation. We're prisoners to David's games and your past, and I can't breathe. Sienna, I love you. The words fell out before I could stop them. I love you, and this is killing me. He sat up, pulling me with him. You can't love me. Too late. I'm 45 years old with more blood on my hands than I can count. I'm damaged and dangerous and completely wrong for you. I know all of that. Doesn't change how I feel. He looked at me like I'd shot him. I love you too. That's the problem. I love you and I'm ruining your life. No, David's ruining my life. You're the only good thing in it. Then let me fix this, permanently. How? His eyes darkened. By ending it, once and for all. Ending what? The threat, the constant watching, David's obsession. He pulled me close. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. That sounds ominous. It is. Tell me. Better if you don't know. Plausible deniability. Hayan Wu. Trust me, one more week, then this is over. Promise. I promise. He kissed me like it was the last time. It almost was. 2 days later, I was leaving campus when gunshots echoed through the parking garage. I dove behind a car, heart hammering, trying to figure out where the shots were coming from. Then I saw him. Hayan Wu, pinned down behind a concrete pillar, 2 men in masks advancing on him. Without thinking, I screamed. Hey, over here. The worst decision, and the best decision of my life. The gunman turned toward me. Hayan Wu used the distraction to move, fast and lethal. I'd never seen him like this. Not the lawyer, not the careful boyfriend. The killer he used to be. He disarmed the first man in seconds, broke his arm, and took his gun. Shot the second man in the leg before he could fire. Both attackers were down in under 30 seconds. Then Hayan Wu was running toward me, grabbing my hand, pulling me toward his car. Get in, now. We peeled out of the garage, sirens already wailing in the distance. What the hell was that? I was shaking, adrenaline making me dizzy. David's response to my offer, he rejected it. By trying to kill you. By trying to kill us. Those men weren't just after me, they were targeting you too. My stomach lurched. How do you know? Because I've been shot at before and I know the difference between a hit and a warning. That was a hit. They wanted us both dead. This is insane. We need to go to the police. And tell them what? That a university professor hired hitmen. With what proof? The men you shot are probably long gone by now. David's people are efficient. He was driving too fast, weaving through traffic, constantly checking the mirrors. Where are we going? Somewhere safe, then we're ending this tonight. How? His knuckles were white on the steering wheel. By doing what I should have done 15 years ago. We drove to a warehouse in southeast DC. Abandoned, empty, perfect for things you didn't want witnesses seeing. Inside, 3 men were waiting. Korean, dangerous looking, the kind of men who wore violence like cologne. These are associates of mine from the old days, Hayan Wu said. They owe me favors. Tonight we will collect. Hayan Wu, what are you planning? He turned to me, eyes hard. I'm planning to make David disappear. You mean kill him? I mean remove the threat. However, that needs to happen. You can't. You'll go to prison, we'll lose everything. We already lost everything the second he decided we were targets. He cupped my face. I'm not letting him hurt you. I don't care what it costs. It'll cost you your freedom. Worth it. Not to me. We stared at each other, deadlocked. Finally, one of his associates spoke in Korean. Hayan Wu responded, then turned back to me. There might be another way. Tell me. We force David's hand, make him expose himself. Then we use the law against him instead of bullets. How? I've been gathering evidence for weeks. Financial records linking him to known criminals. Communications about illegal activities. Enough to put him away if we can get it to the right people. Why didn't you say this before? Because evidence takes time and bullets are faster. But if you want me to do this the legal way, I will. For you. I looked at this man. This complicated, damaged, beautiful man who just offered to murder someone to protect me. Do it legal. Not because I'm squeamish, but because I don't want to lose you to prison or to the darkness that comes with killing someone you hate. He kissed me hard. You're too good for me. I know. And I love you anyway. I know that too. We spent the next 48 hours building an airtight case. Hayan Wu called in every favor. His associates provided additional evidence. Financial trails, recordings, testimony from people David had threatened. It was enough. More than enough. On Friday night, we walked into the FBI field office with a banker's box full of documents. The agent who met us looked skeptical until she started reading. Then her expression changed. This is substantial. Where did you get all this? Sources who want to remain anonymous, Hayan Wu said. But it's all verifiable. Financial records, recorded conversations, witness statements. David Kang has been using his position at the university as cover for criminal activities. Including attempted murder, I added. The agent looked at me. You have proof of that? The parking garage shooting 2 days ago. Security footage should show 2 masked men attempting to kill us. Both men have ties to organized crime. Both have worked for the Kang family before. She made notes, asked more questions, promised to investigate. We left the building holding hands, exhausted, cautiously hopeful. You think they'll actually do something? I asked. I think we gave them enough that they have to. David's too visible now, too exposed. And your evidence linking him to his father should be enough to trigger a RICO investigation. Even if they can't get David on attempted murder, they'll get him on racketeering. How long until we know? Days, maybe weeks. We went back to the safe house. Waited. 3 days later, David was arrested on campus. Federal agents, news cameras, the whole spectacle. I watched it on TV from the cottage, Hayan Wu's arm around me. "It's over," he said. "Is it really?" "The threat is, David will be in custody for months while they build the case. And once it goes to trial, he's done. 20 years minimum. And his father probably dies in prison knowing his son joined him. Poetic in a way." I turned to look at him. "What happens to us now?" "That depends." "On what?" "On whether you still want this. Want me. Without the danger and the adrenaline and the drama." I kissed him softly. "I want boring date nights and arguments about whose turn it is to do dishes. I want normalcy with you." "I don't know if I remember how to do normal." "Then we'll figure it out together." And we did. 1 year later, I stood in front of the dissertation committee, defending my thesis on criminal justice reform. It was brilliant, if I said so myself. And in the audience, sitting in the back row, was Hayan Wu, wearing a suit, smiling that rare smile. Wedding ring catching the light. We got married 6 months ago. Quiet ceremony, just us and a few close friends. Kennedy as my maid of honor, still not quite believing I'd married a man 23 years older. But she saw how he looked at me, how I looked at him, and she understood. After the defense, after the congratulations and the celebration, we went home to our apartment overlooking the city. Not hiding anymore, not running. Just living. "I'm proud of you," Hayan Wu said, pulling me close. "I couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have. You're brilliant on your own." "Maybe, but I wouldn't have wanted to." He kissed me slowly, thoroughly. When we pulled apart, I had something to tell him. "I'm pregnant." He went very still. "What?" "Pregnant, about 8 weeks. I found out yesterday." A dozen emotions crossed his face. Shock, fear, joy. "Are you sure?" 3 tests, very sure." "A baby." "Our baby." He sank onto the couch, pulling me with him. "I'm going to be a father, at 46. Too old." Terrified, but also maybe this is my chance to get it right, to be better than I was. I rested my head on his shoulder. "You're already better. Because of you. Because of us." We sat there for a long time, planning a future neither of us expected to have. A future that started with a wrong number text and almost ended in bullets. But somehow, impossibly, we survived. The next morning, Hayan Wu got a call. David's trial date had been set, 6 months from now. They wanted Hayan Wu to testify. "Will you?" I asked. "About his crimes, yes, about everything else." He looked at me. "That's up to you, your name will come out, people will know." "Let them know, I'm not ashamed of us." Even with the age difference, the scandalous beginning. Especially because of those things, we're proof that love doesn't follow rules. He pulled me close. "When did you get so wise?" "I've been learning from a very smart lawyer." Flattery. Truth. 6 months later, we sat in federal court. David looked diminished in his orange jumpsuit, smaller somehow without the power of his position. When Hayan Wu took the stand, I held my breath. He testified calmly, professionally, laid out the evidence, explained the connections. Never mentioned me except to confirm I'd been a target. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. 25 years. Same sentence as his father. David looked at Hayan Wu as they led him away. No anger, no hatred. Just resignation. Like he'd always known it would end this way. Outside the courthouse, reporters tried to corner us. We didn't comment. Just went home to our apartment, where our daughter was sleeping in her nursery. 3 months old, perfect, already wrapping her father around her tiny finger. "It's really over," I said, watching Hayan Wu hold her. "It's really over." "Now what?" "Now we live. We raise our daughter. We are boring and normal and happy." "Sounds perfect." It was. For about 6 months. Then one night, I came home from my new job at a nonprofit to find Hayan Wu on the phone, speaking in rapid Korean. Expression tense. When he hung up, he looked at me with eyes I hadn't seen in over a year. The dangerous eyes. What's wrong? Nothing, maybe nothing, probably nothing. Hayan Wu. He sat down heavily. David got out on appeal, technicality with evidence handling. My blood went cold. When? 3 days ago. He's been dark since. No one knows where he is. You think he's coming for us? I think he might. I looked at our daughter sleeping in her bassinet, this tiny life we'd created. What do we do? Hayan Wu stood, moving to the window. We prepare, we protect our family, and if he comes, he looked at me, we end it, permanently this time. I thought we were done with this life. We are, but sometimes the past doesn't stay buried. He pulled me close. I won't let him hurt you or our daughter, whatever it takes. Together. Always together. And as we stood there, baby sleeping peacefully, danger circling outside, I realized something. Our story would never be normal. Would never be safe. But it was ours. And I wouldn't change a single thing. 3 days later. The knock came at 3 a.m. We were ready. Hayan Wu moved to the door while I grabbed our daughter, moving to the reinforced safe room we'd installed. Through the security camera, I watched. David stood in the hallway. Alone, unarmed, hands visible. Hayan Wu opened the door, gun behind his back. It's over, David said. What is? This, the vendetta, all of it. He looked exhausted, broken. I spent a year in prison thinking about revenge, about making you suffer like my father suffered, like I suffered. And I realized I'm tired of hate, tired of destruction. You won. He stepped back. I just came to tell you that, to say it's over, you win. That simple. That simple. They stared at each other for a long moment. Finally, Hayan Wu lowered his gun. Why should I believe you? Because I'm signing papers tomorrow to go back to Korea, taking a position at Seoul National University, leaving D.C., leaving this life. David's smile was bitter. Turns out prison gives you time to think, to realize maybe my father made his own choices, maybe you made yours, and maybe holding on to anger just makes everything worse. You're really leaving. I'm really leaving. And if you change your mind? I won't, but if I do, David met his eyes. You'll do what you do, and I probably deserve it. He turned to leave. David. He paused. I am sorry, about your father, about everything. I know doesn't change anything, but I know. Then he was gone. Hayan Wu locked the door, secured the apartment, came to find me in the safe room. Is it really over? I asked. I think so, maybe. You believe him? I want to, I'm choosing to. He took our daughter from my arms, held her close. I'm choosing to believe we get our happy ending. And if we don't, then we fight for it, like we always have. I kissed him softly. I love our complicated life. Even with the drama. Especially with the drama. He laughed, the sound echoing in our safe room, surrounded by reinforced walls and security systems and all the precautions of a life lived in the margins. But also surrounded by love. By family. By the impossible thing we'd built from a wrong number and bad decisions, and choosing each other anyway. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment telling me what you thought. Should I do a part 2 showing their life in 5 years? 10 years? Let me know. And check out my other videos for more forbidden romance stories. Until next time, keep choosing love even when it's complicated, especially when it's complicated. Peace.